Alright, HadesOmega here. Welcome to another episode of HadesOmega Solar Garage. So what we'll be doing in this episode is we'll be installing some of the DC wiring going to the for the PV wiring, okay? The PV wiring for the solar panel, okay? It's DC, but yeah, it's for the photovoltaic system, okay? The solar panels, okay? So what I got to do is I got to make an XT60 connector for the inverter, okay? So that way if I want to quickly disconnect it, I can do it, okay? Alternatively, yeah, we could probably make a quick disconnect switch too, but I think this will be fine, okay? That's what Will Pross uses, so that's what I'll use too, okay? So what we're going to be using for the PV wire is this PV wire extension cord, okay? This is actually the cord that we will be using when we do the run from the solar panels to the inverter, okay? But what I figured in advance is the positive end has the male side, okay? And what I found out is these I think these are Windy Nation. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I'll put a subtitle below if it's not, but I think these are Windy Nation extension cord, okay? Will Pross recommended it. One thing I don't like about this is I squeezed this and I broke it, okay? The little claw that locks into this part right here, I broke it already. Look at it, okay? See that? Broken already. All I did was squeeze it just a little bit and it broke. So yeah, I'm not very happy with that. But the good thing is we're not going to be using this. Okay, so just be very careful with these, okay? Don't squeeze them. You either just plug it in, and when you do plug it in, make sure you put some silicone grease, okay, or dielectric grease on the O-ring so it slides in nicely and it creates a good seal, okay? But yeah, we're going to be snipping this off, okay? We're not going to use this. The end that we're going to use is this side, okay? This is the part that connects to the solar panel. So on the positive side of the solar panel, there's a male, okay? So the male's got to connect to the female, right? So it's going to connect to this, and then we're going to run it through the conduit, and then we're going to connect it to the inverter somehow, okay? We're going to convert it. We're going to connect it to the inverter with, boom, this, okay? So we don't need this end, so I'm going to snip this off. I'll probably, I don't know, maybe we could still use this. I'll leave like 3 inches of wire here, okay? So I'm going to mark that with my fingernail, okay? So I know where to cut, all right? And then alternatively, on the negative side, all right, the black wire is going to connect. The black wire looks like this, okay, on the solar panel. So yeah, so if it looks like this, we need to save this one, okay? So we need to chop this one off, okay? So it's the opposites, okay? So the red we have to cut the male off, and the negative we're going to cut the female off, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to mark off what I'm going to cut, about 3 inches. I'll do the same here, just in case I want to use these MC4 connectors. Honestly, I've never worked with MC4 connectors. I don't know how to terminate them, so, and I don't know where you can get them from. Okay, so we're gonna snip those off. Okay, and then I'm gonna snip off a portion of wire, and we're gonna use that to make our connector. Probably make the connector like 6 inches long. Well, we'll see. We'll go over there and we'll figure out how much. All right, so yeah, let's go do some snipping. So this is a 8-gauge wire, I believe. How much is 8 gauge good for? It's more than what you need. So according to Google, 8-gauge wire is good enough to pass 50 amps, okay? So using an XT60 connector should be perfectly fine, okay? Because you should be only running around 50 amps through the wire, okay? So you got a little bit of redundancy is what I want to say, okay? This is an XT60H connector because it has the little plastic covers on the back. I have a bunch of them, and I'm dying to use them. Okay, so yeah, these are very nice connectors. They're very easy to work with. That's what I like about them. Okay, and like a lot of the modern, electronic stuff, electronic toys, that's what they use now. All right, yeah. So yeah, so these are good up to 60 amps. That's what I said, and the 8-gauge wire is okay to carry up to 50 amps. Now we're only going to be running about maybe like 10 amps or something. That's what I'm thinking. 10 amps, but 120 volts, okay? when you run a lot of volts, you don't need that big a wire, okay? But you're pushing a lot of power through the wire. Now, if you have a lot of current or amps, you need a thicker wire because the wire will heat up and it may start a fire, okay? So that's why they rate fuses and breakers in amps, because amps are what makes stuff heat up. That's what I'm gonna say, okay? That's what causes fires and stuff, all right? If you're pushing too much amps through too thin a wire, it can be a fire hazard, okay? All right, so let's snip these ends off. So this one we need to cut the negative off and keep the, we have to cut the female off and keep the whatchamacallit. Okay. Oh, this wire's so thick. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then we're going to cut the male off on this side. Okay, all right, good to go. Okay, now we're going to take a piece of this wire out. Okay, and then we're going to make a connector out of it. I think 6 inches, but let's go back there. Okay, here we are. So I'm thinking like 6 inches would be fine. We're going.
Okay, so you guys can't see too much, but this is where the magic happens. This is the load center here. All right, so the wire is going to go through here, and the positive. I don't like the way they label these things. Yeah, see the things on the back side. Why not put it up here in the front, man? So you can freaking tell which one's the positive and which one's the negative. I kind of don't like the way they printed all the labeling on this thing, man. It's hard to find it. You know, you kind of have to like really look up in there. Okay, but anyway, it looks like the negative is on the right and the positive is on the left. So this is going to go up here like this. Okay. And then there's a lot of these wires just like out here. You know, you could easily break stuff here. You know. I don't like that. Look at that. See, the positive wire is just touching everything here. All these ribbons and stuff. Okay, yeah. So it's gonna be like that. Okay, it's kind of in there, and then I'd say maybe that much. So does that look like 6 inches to you? And then it'll connect to something here. What do you think? Or should I make it a little shorter? Doesn't have to be super long, just enough to reach the thing. Yeah, I think this is fine. Okay, so however long that is. Okay, and then yeah, the other one will just have a negative connector, the same wire coming out the other end. Okay, maybe I'll make it just a ½ inch longer.
Okay, I'm gonna measure how much that is just for reference. I made a little mark on my fingernail. 6 inches. Okay, yeah, like I mentioned, 6 inches. It's a good size. All right. So we're going to cut 6 inches off of each of these, okay? And then we're just going to put a connector on the end of it, okay? So let me go get the connectors out already. Okay, so we're going to get 2 of these ends, the gray ends, okay? And this might be a little tough because these connectors are a little small, actually. So, but you can do it. You can solder a 8-gauge wire to a XT60. You can do it. Okay, so there we go. It goes like that. I'm not really sure which side should go where. How about we just use the female end? Okay. Actually, I don't think it really matters, man. as long as you do it the right way on both sides. So I think. Okay, HadesOmega's decided we're gonna use the male end. Okay, we're gonna use the male end too for the inverter side. Okay. And then this, whenever we terminate the PV side, the solar panel side, we will use this, okay? And then it's just going to connect together like that, okay? And then the ends go on like that, okay? Cool. All right, let me go cut these wires out. It's okay if it's a little long or a little too short. These wires are not cheap either. It seems like it gets nicked really easy though. Yeah, I hope it's long enough. This stuff is really stiff, and I probably should have made it a little longer. Oh well, too late, HadesOmega. Cut it already. Okay. All right, we're gonna make our connector with this. It's time to heat up the soldering iron. Okay, problem. This doesn't fit. This will not fit on the XT60 connector. So I think what we're gonna have to do. You know what we could do is just make the holes bigger. Why don't I just Why not just cut this whole thing out here? Opening. Yeah, let me see if I can make the hole bigger in this. Alternatively, I could use a regular XT60 connector. So a regular XT60 connector, like, is just kind of naked at the end, okay? Just like that, okay? And then you're supposed to put, like, shrink tubing at the end so there's no exposed wire, okay? This is one that I bought, but I don't have as many of these, okay? So alternatively, we could use this. So let's see if we can use that other one, okay? Yeah, this is gonna work, guys. Yeah, no. I'm gonna use shrink tubing. Okay, we're not gonna use this plastic thing. I kind of just ruined it. It's okay. But we will use this connector, so we're just gonna use shrink tubing. I can't even get it out now. It's too precision to fit. We want a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, so I'm gonna go strip this end just like this one, and we'll start the soldering strap again. I'm sure there is a proper tool for this. And a razor blade will work, I guess. You could pretty much strip them any length you want because we're just going to put shrink tubing over it anyways. Okay, hopefully I get that the right size too. Alright, so we're going to go with this. So these XT60 connectors have a like polarity on it, alright? So if you look right here. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is we got to tin the wire. We got to tin both of them. Alright, so let's do that. This is not even connected. Dadgummit. I connected the wrong one. Okay, it's hot enough. Here we go. We're going to go tin the wire. Takes a lot of solder. It's a big freaking wire, man. Now we got a tin the XT60 connector right over yonder. Okay. Hopefully it just soaks that right up. I think this won't be very difficult. Be nice if this thing didn't move so much. Huh. Okay, hold on. It needs more solder. Unfortunately, I already tinted it off. Let me just get my little helping hand here to hold on to this. Okay, there's my handiwork. Alright. Yeah, I know. I couldn't get the wires like all the way in there, but I'm sure that it's filled up with freaking lead. Let me go make sure we let me go tug on it and make sure it's good and it's in there. It's got a good connection and that's fine. Ugh. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's perfect. Okay, so next one. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of just speed this one up. Yeah, it was a lot easier than the other one. I use a lot. Oh, it's hot, really hot. Okay. So just make sure I give it a good tug here. Once it's cooled down. Okay. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Okay, so now we're going to put some shrink tubing on it, and then I think we'll be done. Okay. Turned out okay. It's not the prettiest looking solder, but I think it'll do the trick. Okay, I got the shrink tubing here. Okay, I got some shrink tubing here. I'm just going to cut this in half. I don't have a red one that's like the proper size, unfortunately. They're all kind of small, so I have a really big one here, but it's like too big. So we're just going to use black. You can pretty much tell what side's what. Okay. And we're going to go plug in my heat gun dealy here. Okay, kind of look at the inverter, and we're going to strip about that much, okay? Right? Okay, so let's go install it. Okay, so I'm going to show you where I'm going to connect it here. And I'm just going to connect it. You see it says here PV negative right here, I think. PV negative, and then it says PV, should be PV positive, okay? So the red is going to go here, and the black is going to go here, okay? Okay, so there's my handiwork. Alright, so there's the negative and the positive right here, and hopefully I give it a good tug. It will not come out. If I move it around, it will not get messed up too much. In fact, we should probably just wiggle it around like that and see if we can tighten it. Let's try. Nope, that's about it. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. So it's going to connect like that somehow. Yeah, the things inside are actually moved. This is way too stiff, man, I'm telling you. Oh, okay, yeah, I think I should have made the wire a little longer so that way it's not so stiff, but I think that's fine. It's going to put a lot of pressure on the connector, dude. Yeah, we should have made it longer. The one thing I don't like about this is the little hole here is like right over here, okay? And then so it's got to come in at a weird angle, okay? You're looking at it, see? It comes in like a weird, like a 30-degree angle. So that's what makes it really not good, okay? And like there's all this stuff that's really close, but we're done. We're done with all the connections in the inverter. So now we can cover all this up. Okay, so I got the DC battery, and then the DC solar panel or PV, and then I got the input, AC input and AC output in here. Okay, so that should be it. There's nothing else to plug in here. Okay, the solar panel will plug to this one thing. Okay, but man, I do not like how. I don't like how much pressure it's putting on that. Okay. But yeah, so the wire will probably just droop down here a little bit. Okay, and it'll connect like that. I'm not happy with this. I wish it was a thing, but. Okay, so, all right, the next thing to do is we should install the fuse, okay? So, that'll be the next video, I guess. All right, let's put the cover back on.
Okay, I'm gonna put the cover back on, but I'm just gonna put it on lightly. All right, well, where did the cover go? Because we don't really have to make any more connections. We made all the connections we need to. Okay, so there you go. I wish this had thumb screws, so it'd be easier to take out. HadesOmega is being a little nitpicky, but yeah, I'm telling you. Okay, there we go. I've lightly put the cover back on. Looks good. Okay, so the solar panels will just connect right there. I wish, I don't know, if you were to accidentally pull on this, the connector would come out and it would just disconnect itself. So I don't think it's a big idea. We don't have to have like clamps holding it in, okay? Because there's no more room to do that. Yeah, HadesOmega wish he made this like twice as long. That's what I should have done, unfortunately. Okay, so yeah. So in the next episode, we're gonna go install this guy. Okay, this install bay. It's funny because this is install bay. Oh yeah, this is install bay too. Oh, it's the same brand. That's funny. We're gonna be installing this fuse for the positives wire on the solar panels. Okay. So there's some protection for the wiring. Okay, and then they'll all right. Here's me up.